Hey, welcome back to our podcast called The Ghastly Guide. If you're new here, we offer a low-stimulation horror podcast with episodes featuring niche urban legends and folklore stories from different cultures through the world. And for our second episode, our next stop is the home country of the Ghastly Guide, the Philippines.
Uy, Philippines.
More specifically, from the Ilocos region.
I'm Ilocano.
Yes, this is my girlfriend. Her name is Zoe. My name is Clary. If I haven't told you yet. Anyways, yes, this is my girlfriend Zoe. She is originally from Ilocos. No, not originally. Her family is from Ilocos.
Why
So
are you
she's-
lying to the people?
Shh,
Why
let's
are
be
you lying
quiet.
to the people?
So she's like technically Ilocano. But yeah.
When?
Okay. So first I will just talk about the story that we have for today, and then we'll go straight into talking about it together
Who
after.
did you talk about it with in the first episode?
To myself, on the camera, to the people watching.
Right.
Okay. Many cultures around the world host a myriad of mermaid or mermaid-like folklores, and the Philippines is no exception, which comes as no surprise to anyone, seeing as the Philippines is an archipelago of more than 7,000 islands. This particular mermaid-adjacent folklore comes from the northwestern part of the Philippines, the Ilocos region. The Litao is male water spirit described to be a small man who resides in bamboo trees along the riverbanks. Though some say he lives in the river itself, or the branches of the trees or reeds of the riverbanks, and not just bamboo. Either way, he tends to the bamboo, trees, or reeds and curses those who try to cut them down with illnesses. Water spirits of the Philippines are often said to possess control over waters and other liquids such as blood. And so, if one were to fall sick with illness involving blood or other bodily fluids, the folk healers might tell them that they had been cursed by water anito, which is an ancestral spirit. Some legends say that the Litao is also the husband of the sirena, the Filipino counterpart of the mermaid. One such legend says that the Litao might be the spirits of the men who fell victim to the sirenas, turning them into their husbands. But another legend says differently, that the Litao had created the sirena. The story goes like this. There was once a beautiful girl and her mother who lived in a shack on the banks of a river. They lived so close to the water that the waters had washed the side of their hut. One day, as they were sewing, the girl's needle fell into the water. She looked for the needle and saw it shining down into the depths of the clear water. But her mother warned her against it. Do not do it, daughter. The Litao will ensnare you with his powers. The needle is lost. However, the girl snuck down once her mother was distracted, the glint of the needle in the clear waters calling to her, and, against her mother's warnings, dipped a foot into the water. As soon as she did, the water swallowed her whole, gigantic bubbles surrounding her. Her legs fused together and grew rough and scaly, turning it into a tail, not unlike that of a fish, and she gained supernatural powers. The Litao had transformed her into the sirena, and they had married. The sirena in Filipino folklore is described to have long, thick hair spread across her shoulders. Her hair is said to be so long that it drags along the ground, and with long nails that she uses to kill her victims after luring them in the river through flattery. She was beautiful, it was said, but she had the unpleasant scent of rotted fish. Throughout the region of the Ilocanos, no one would dare to speak about the mermaid near bodies of water, for it is said that she will kill those who speak ill of her. But if you do her no wrong in the past, she will spare your life and will give you valuable gifts, and she will tell you of her past. It is sad to say that the Litao had lost its significance when the Spaniards introduced the legend of the mermaid in the Ilocos region, and most are more concerned with the mermaid than the Litao. But if you find yourself in the Philippines, particularly in the Ilocos region, Know that the Litao may also go on land and appear as an ordinary man doing ordinary things, walking the streets, roaming the market. But his true nature may be revealed by the strong, pungent, fish like smell emanating from his body. So, if you ever encounter a man with those descriptions, know that you might have just encountered a Litao.
What if mangingisda lang siya? What if this has undertones of classism? Because what if the man who smells like fish is actually just a fisherman, or he sells fish and he gets wrongfully accused of being a litao just because of that?
Low key, I was also thinking that, like, the strong fish smell, like, that's also what fishermen smell like.
That was such a spooky story. I'm literally like I got goosebumps from that, guys. I think I can smell fish right now. Close your.
Zoe! But yeah, when I was a kid, I was really scared of the ocean because of mermaids. Like, I would watch videos on like YouTube before of like found footage, and it's like videos from the ocean, deep in the ocean, and there's like suddenly a hand that hit the submarine, and the hand looks like a mermaid's hand, the one with the things here. I don't know what you call that.
They have webbed hands.
Webbed hands, yeah.
Yeah, some of us have webbed hands, guys.
Yeah, low key. But yeah, it really freaked me out. Well, now though, I don't really think about it. Unless there's like a recent sighting of a mermaid.
Has there been any recent sightings?
I don't know. Have you been scared of mermaids?
No, never. I thought they were like. Sorry.
You thought they were beautiful?
I remember there was this one episode of Upin and Ipin, and it was like an AU episode where they were all pirates, and they saw this beautiful mermaid, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And it turned around, and it was a dugong. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, well, it turned around, and it ended up being like a sea cow. Like a dugong, just may seaweed as the hair. You mentioned something about how Litao was like our native mermaid, and when the Spanish came, they sort of, even that they colonized, and they popularized their own mythology, which is the mermaid. And so now we've mostly lost our knowledge of this folklore, because I've never heard of the Litao ever.
Me neither.
So it's like, I know that in itself isn't a huge deal, but it just shows how much of our pre-colonial history and identity was wiped out during these eras of colonialism, like down to the stories that we tell and the mythology we believe. It's like even that wasn't safe from colonialism. It's just really messed up, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. But like for me, it made more sense when the origin of the Litao is the water spirit, the one who fell victim to the sirenas, and it made more sense to me compared to the other one that's like
The sirenas are victim.
yeah.
Wait, who? The Litao being victims, did that come from Filipinos, or is that what the Spanish?
No, it's that came from the Filipinos.
I also think
The-
that these two contradicting, like opposite stories, halos, it's a reflection of the narrative that pre-colonial Filipinos and the Spaniards at the time wanted to share. Do you get what I mean? Like in this case, the Litao represents the Philippine people. The Sirenas represent Spain. In the narrative that the Spaniards shared, the Sirenas fell victim to the Litao, and it's like the Litao is framed as the what do you call it? The evil one, I guess, the bad one.
Suspect.
Yeah, and the Litao is like spiritually us Filipinos, whereas in the other version, it was the Sirenas who lure like us and transform us. They tether us to them. You get what I mean? Because it's like they're turned into husbands.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I feel like these mythologies, these folklores, like stories and art, they're always a reflection of current political events at the time. Like even down to this, you can see how it was a reflection of, you know, the politics at the time.
Yeah, at the time. It makes sense that after the Spaniards colonized us, halos nawala yung story ng Litao and more on just the mermaids, which did work because I didn't know about this story until now.
Like it's through these tiny changes that these colonialist sort of ideologies and mentalities are ingrained into our system, and those things are passed down for generations until our own original identity is just like forgotten.
Exactly.
Which is so sad. But yeah, maybe I only have strong opinions about this matter because I'm Ilocano and stuff.
Oh, I see. Gets. But yeah, speaking of a city from the Philippines na yung story na to, which came from, I am honestly now curious about a folklore story that originates from my province, which is not that interesting, Cavite. I don't know if there's any. But yeah, in other provinces, I know that there are a lot of different ones. Also, ulit ko
And
sa
like superstitions, dude, I freaking love like Filipino superstitions because they're always so outrageous.
Yeah. Well, honestly, my favorite superstition that I still follow, that I think is true, is
Tabi-tabi po.
pagpag.
Oh, what's pagpag again?
Pagpag is when you just came from a wake or a cemetery and you have to go somewhere else first before you go home.
So
that you
spirits
don't
follow you.
Yeah, so you don't bring home the spirit that you just visited.
The Ilocano version of that is when you go back to the house after a funeral or a wake, they put vinegar on you. Like, gaganon nila. Tapos pati sa kilikili mo, they would put. I was like, okay, whatever floats your boat.
Wait, you've done that?
Yeah, I did. When my great-grandma died, so we were going back to our ancestral home after her funeral, and there was a line at the door, and there was like an old lady there with like a basin of vinegar, and she would just like put it on you. Like, man, it's just, there's so much to learn. There's so much to know.
Yeah. In different, like, it's crazy. This isn't that crazy, and it's common knowledge, but like, we're all Filipinos, but we all have different cultures.
Yeah, I think that Filipinos are just really diverse in terms of their cultural identities because we live on an archipelago, so each region is drastically different.
Yeah.
Which is like good and bad at the same time. But there's a lot to unpack, so I don't know, we don't have to get into that now.
So that's all from our episode for today. Our folklore story from Ilocos Region. Hopefully we get more stories from another province. That would be really interesting.
Are people allowed to submit stories?
Yeah, actually I did say that last video at the end. It would be really cool if you guys have your own folklore story that you've heard in your childhood and no one else really knows about it. That would be
like
cool.
A niche.
Yeah, niche. Yeah, that's all for our episode today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Catch us next week, next Friday, same time. Bye.
You said also this awkward last time you did that.
Yeah, it was. Okay, bye.